Hi everyone. In this part of the lesson I'm going to continue, but we're going to focus more on the graphing rather than the writing aspect. So same purpose about using and constructing different types of equations of lines as well as using them and how we're going to use those types of equations of lines. So like I said, we're going to focus more on the graphing aspect, and so most graphs we're going to graph in slope-intercept or point-slope form, or standard form, sorry. So we will not be using point-slope form directly to graph. It's not that it's not possible, but it is often a little bit more complicated to work with, and people don't really like it. So again, we want to recognize this in the form as y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form, where my slope is 2 and my intercept is -4. So one important thing before we move on to the actual graph is why we use whole numbers here. So every whole number can be written as a fraction if we just put it over 1. And so this is my rise as compared to my run. So again, this is going to tell me how much I go up or down, up if it's positive, down if it's negative, and how much I go to the right. Whereas my y-intercept is always the coordinate point 0 and then whatever the number is. So in this case, 0, -4 will tell me where I am actually graphing. So I'm going to get a sort of larger point here. So, as we've talked before, right here is my origin. So I'm going to start by going down 4 on my y-axis. So right there is where I'm going to place my first point, 0, -4, my y-intercept. And my slope was 2, 1. So I'm going to go up by 2 coordinate points. So from here, I'm going to go up 1, 2, and then over by 1. And I'm going to do that one more time. Now, the interesting thing is, you know how we always go to the right? Well, if I go the opposite direction, so up over 1, if I go the opposite way down, I go to the left, and I'll be able to construct the same thing. So it's good practice to do coordinate points in both directions. The easy way to make sure you've done it correct is just go from the leftmost point and make sure your slope is consistent. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So that's going to be my line here. Okay, so again, now this might be one that you may want to pause the video and try because you may be really familiar with this, but you're more than welcome to do that. And then you can see that my slope here is -1/5. My y-intercept is 4. Okay, so again, I'm going to go to my origin point. We're going to start basically there. And I'm going to go up by 4. And since it's a negative slope, I'm going to go down by 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be my next point right here. And if I do it one more time, I end up, I'm pretty sure, right there. Again, going in reverse, I'm going to go to the left 5, up 1, to the left 5, up 1. Whenever I'm going in reverse is when I do the complete opposites. This is the only time you should ever be going to the left. And so that's my line right there. Now there are other types of lines, horizontal and verticals. So in this one, we're going to talk about different types of slopes. So I'm going to graph the point 2, 5. So in terms of a graph, I'm going to go over 2, up 5, which places me right about there on my coordinate plane. And so the first question asked me to draw the horizontal line that goes through this. Now horizontal, we want to think like the horizon is where the sun lays and sets and rises. So it's going to go this way. And so what's important to realize about the horizontal line is that every coordinate point along this line, every single one, has a unique commonality. So if I took every single one of those points and I wrote them out, you're going to notice, so this coordinate point here appears to be -8, +5. This one here appears to be -5, +5. This one here is -3, +5. This one here is -2, +5. This one here is 0, 5, my intercept. This one here, the original point is 2, 5. If you notice, all the y coordinates are exactly the same. So we can say that the slope of this line, it doesn't rise at all, so slope is 0. the y-intercept is 5, and so that gives me the equation of a line. So y equals mx plus b. If I replace m and b, we get, this whole thing is just 0, y equals 5. So anytime you have a horizontal line, and I would write this in, it's just y equals the y coordinate, the number of the y coordinate. Now we're going to repeat that same concept here, but now we're going to do it with the vertical line. So again, horizontal goes left to right. My vertical line is going to go up to down. And, I'm not going to do it as repetitively, but you're going to notice something very similar about this. It's actually pretty good. So here, if I graph the point here, 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 and I, write out all the coordinate points that exist here, again, you're going to notice something very much in common. This is 2, 5. This here is 2, 3. This here is 2, 1. This here is 2, -1. If you notice, all the x coordinates are the same. And that's going to play a role here. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different. My x-intercept is at 2. The slope of the line, so a horizontal line has a slope of 0. A vertical line has what we call undefined. It's in a sense like an infinity slope, but that doesn't really apply here because we can't really graph something with that, so we call it undefined. And how a horizontal line was y equals, my equation of the line is actually just x equals. So write this in, vertical lines are x equals whatever the x coordinate is. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for graphing line, and I'll see you in the next one.